In a quaint village nestled between lush green hills and rivers that whispered secrets to the winds, lived a little girl named Mira. Mira was unlike any other child. She had a voice so sweet and melodic that people called her the Ting-Tongue, for when she spoke, it was as if the world around her chimed in harmony. But Mira had a secret. Even though her voice could enchant the birds to sing and the leaves to dance, she never spoke in front of others. She feared that her voice, as lovely as it was, carried a curse. As a young child, Mira had once sung to a garden full of flowers. The moment her voice filled the air, the flowers bloomed like never before. But shortly after, a terrible storm hit the village, causing destruction. The villagers whispered that it was the wrath of nature, disturbed by her magical voice. Since that day, Mira kept her words to herself, locking away her gift. Years passed, and the village suffered from a long, bitter drought. The crops withered, and the rivers that once sang with life turned to dry beds of cracked earth. The village elders, once hopeful, grew weary, and the people began to lose their faith. One day, a traveling storyteller named Alin arrived in the village. He was known for his TingTongue Tales, stories that carried wisdom and light to even the darkest corners of the world. Upon hearing of Mira, Alin sought her out, convinced that she was the key to saving the village. "Mira," Alin said gently when he found her sitting by the last trickle of the river, "your voice is not a curse, but a gift. The world needs it now more than ever. You have the power to heal what is broken." Mira shook her head, fear flickering in her eyes. "I caused the storm. I brought pain to the village once. I cannot risk it again." Alin smiled and placed a small, delicate mirror in her hands. "Do you see the reflection of the river behind you? It flows when it is free, unafraid of where it will go. Your voice is the same. You are not the storm, Mira. You are the calm that follows it." Pounded, and her hands trembled as all eyes turned to her. She hesitated, the weight of her fear pressing down on her. But then, she remembered the river, remembered Alin's words. Slowly, she stood up and closed her eyes, feeling the energy of the earth beneath her feet. With a deep breath, she began to speak. Her voice, soft at first, began to rise, filling the air with notes so pure they seemed to touch the stars. The wind stirred gently, the leaves rustled, and a soft rain began to fall. It wasn't a storm this time, it was a shower of life. The river began to trickle again, the parched earth drank in the rain, and the villagers stared in awe as the drought finally broke. Mira's voice wove stories of hope, courage, and kindness, stories that had been locked within her heart for so long. She spoke of the strength that comes from vulnerability, of how light can be found even in the darkest of times. As she finished, the rain turned into a gentle mist, and the village, once dry and barren, came alive once more. From that day forward, Mira's voice became a beacon of hope for the village. She learned that her gift was not something to fear, but something to share. Her TingTongue Tales spread far and wide, inspiring those who heard them to believe in the power of their own voices. And so, Mira, the girl who once hid her voice, became a legend, her stories living on in every song, every whisper of the wind, and every raindrop that touched the earth.